But if you're joining us now, let me know where you're calling in from and where you're coming in from today. It's lovely to see you here. Just a quick introduction to me. I am Elise and I am Head of Publicity here at Marissa Peer, and I'm also an RTT therapist. I'm going to tell you more about that lately. So I'm seeing a lot of you coming in now: Australia, Cambridgeshire, Spain, Amsterdam, Mexico, Finland, Ireland, Sarajevo, Croatia, Dubai, Ireland, loads of you. So we've got a truly global audience today. So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here today, because today is not just a regular other webinar. It's not your regular kind of webinar. This is actually going to be a live transformational experience for you. So today we're working on the theme of support and blockers to success ultimately. So Marissa is going to be doing a very special live experience for you just shortly. And we're going to start to uncover some of the rules that have maybe been shaping your success, your confidence, and what you believe is truly possible for you, but you might not be consciously aware of them. So it's going to be so exciting, because today you're going to actually experience RTT for yourself. So some of you might be here just to observe the process and see how RTT works. Some of you might be here going, I need a little bit of change in my life. I've got these blockers to success. I feel like something's holding me back. I'm not reaching my full potential. Or maybe you're even stuck in a job or stuck in a role or stuck somewhere in life and you're wanting to just free yourself from that. So today, like I say, you're going to experience a live RTT session, and you're going to experience a mini transformation and real change in this session. So it's not just learning, it's not just showing you what we do as RTT therapists, it's doing in action. So some of you I know will be here purely for that transformation, because you're like, yes, something's holding me back. I know that I can make myself much more successful than I already am, but something in me is holding me back. Maybe you're self-sabotaging or something's holding on, but you're not quite consciously aware of it. So that's absolutely fine. If you're here for the transformation, you're in the right place. But some of you might be here as well because maybe you've been looking at rapid transformational therapy and thinking, I might like to do this actually. Maybe I could be an RTT therapist too. And brilliant, because again, you're in the right place. And some of you might be here for a bit of both. And I think most people are here for a bit of both. So I'd love for you to just pop into the chat, whether you are here just for the transformation, put for me, whether you are here to look at training, put train me, or whether you're here for both. So both, me, both, me, both, for me, both. Right, look, do you know what? You're all in the right place. So I'm going to just give you a brief update before I hand you over to Marissa on what's coming up in the next hour or so. So we're going to talk to you more about understanding why effort alone often doesn't work and can sort of block you going to life in the next level, taking that leap of faith and moving forward and making change in your life. So Marissa's going to talk to you as well about how beliefs formed in early life are still running or maybe even ruining your life and holding you back. Like I say, she's going to do a really special live RTT experience for you today. And then we're going to talk to you a little bit more about life as an RTT therapist and the opportunity to learn this work. So it's super exciting. Marissa's also going to do a Q&A with me later as well. So pop all your burning questions into the question box and we will get around to those later on. But right now, let's begin, because this is the most important part, experiencing this life transformation for yourself. So I'm going to hand you over to someone who needs no introduction, the amazing, fantastic Marissa Peer.
Oh, I nearly coughed then. Sorry about that. Let me take a swig of water before we begin. I've been a therapist my entire adult life, and I look at psychotherapy that says, oh, come in every week and we'll talk about you. And it doesn't really get results. In fact, somebody called Hebb, Hebbs, has proven that the longer you go for talk therapy, the less effective it is. It's great in the beginning. Someone's very interested in you, but then you realize you're going every week and talking about yourself and not really getting it. And that's because one of the rules of the mind, this is my new book, Your Mind, Your Rules, but one of the rules of your mind is that emotion will defeat logic every single time. If you meet someone who is terrified of a lift or terrified of an aeroplane, and you say, but logically, you know, if getting on a plane is safer than getting in a car, elevators are safe, after all, this one's got a phone in it and a safety button. It doesn't really matter, because the emotional mind will always defeat logic. So we have many, many rules of the mind. I'm going to talk about some of them today before we go into our fantastic transforming session. So because my new book, so I'm not going to pick it up because I'm going to pick it up one more time, because my new book is called Your Mind, Your Rules. And it explains that everything you tell yourself is a story. But the mind has some rules, and they're very, very interesting rules. And here's one of them that I talk about a lot. The mind can't hold conflicting beliefs, and it can't hold conflicting thoughts. And that's probably very important today, because some of you here are saying, I really, really want success, but, and I want you to put on the screen the but. I want success, but, and finish that sentence. I want love, but. I'd love to have a really fit body, but. I'd love to have 4 children, but. So please do it right now. Write down the thing you want and but, and here we have one. I want success, but I'm afraid of falling. I want success, but I'm not worthy. What is the but getting in your way? Well, it's not so much the but, it's that when you say but, here's a but. I want money, but you never know who your friends are. I want success, but it's lonely at the top. I want children, but your life is never your own again. So when you say but, you are now driving your brain in 2 lanes. I want to be fit, but I can live without pizza. I want to be fit, but living on salad is so boring. So now you've already set up 2 conflicting beliefs because you put in the word but. I want to make loads of money, but I'm very scared that I'd get robbed. In fact, I was actually interviewing Daniel Priestley a few weeks ago on my new webinar, Your Mind, Your Rules, and he was telling me that he had a very poor relationship with money. He was brought up poor, and his boss made him carry $2,000 in his pocket. It had to be in his pocket at all times. And you think, wow, that must have felt so great, $2,000, but it wasn't, because his first thought was, wow, if someone knows I have $2,000 in my pocket, I'll be beaten up, I'll be mugged, I'll be robbed. He began to think about violence happening to him. That was the first thought. The second was, I could lose this. It's not my money. I've had to borrow it. My boss has said you must have this cash on your person at all times, but I borrowed it. I've got to pay it back. So what if I lose it? The third thought was, I want to have this money, but people will think I'm very flash. Everyone's going to expect me to pay for everything because I got £2,000 in my pocket. The next thought was, well, the kind of woman I'd like to date, if she saw me with £2,000, I think I'm a flashy show off, I'd attract the wrong women. And the fifth thought, still the negative one, was, I'm just going to spend this, going to go through my fingers. If I go past a shop with something I like and I've got the cash right here, I'm going to go and get it. So that was so interesting. Every thought was negative. I'd love to have money in my pocket, but the wonderful thing is he continued to carry that money in his pocket. He began to switch those beliefs. So you have a lot of limiting beliefs. I want to be fit, but I think I'm going to fail. I want another baby, but I can't get pregnant. I want love, but I always pick the wrong people and then it hurts. I want success, but I'm afraid. I want to start a business. I'm afraid of losing all my money. So here's a little game to play. I want you to go back and do exactly the same thing, the same statement. I want whatever it was, and it goes like this. I want to be fit and I can have pizza once a week and maybe not such a large amount. I want money and I've met people, I've heard of people who've got money and apparently very happy. I want love, and I'm going to look at someone who's had a beautiful, loving relationship like Sting and Trudy maybe, and go, wow, that it does exist. I want a baby, and I can still have my own life. So the minute you take away but, when you put but, I want to be fit, but I couldn't give up pizza, you're driving in 2 lanes, which is not possible. Your mind has conflicting because I want it, but is a conflicting belief and a conflicting thought. When you say, I want it, and I could say, oh, I want to write a book, but it's so lonely. It's soul destroying, sitting in that on your desk for hours on your own. And who knows if it even ever gets published. I could go, I want to write a book and I'm going to make it compelling and engrossing and thrilling. This is my 7th book because I always say I want to write a book and. So I want you to stop saying but and say and. And I want you to stop saying I want. The word want comes from lack. I might say I really want a coffee, or I want some food, I want some money, I want some attention. But if you say require, I require success and, it's totally different to I want success but. I require love and I'm worth it. I deserve it and I'm going to find it. It's different. Do I want love? But it never works out. And then you just lose half of everything you've got. So you see how interesting these rules are. They don't require a lot of application. They don't require hours and hours of studying and writing out 100 goals. They require looking at a rule. Your mind cannot hold conflicting thoughts or beliefs. A belief is nothing more than a thought. You think a lot, so look at your conflicting thoughts and change them. I want love, but it would kill me if it didn't work out. I want a baby. What if I'm an awful parent? I want this, but I can't afford it. I'm going to tell you another rule of the mind, which is very, very simple to fix. Your brain likes what is familiar and known, and it does not like what is unfamiliar and unknown. That may sound kind of normal. Imagine if you grew up in a family where you're never praised, you're put down a lot. And that's familiar. So someone says, oh, you look awful. And then later someone says, hey, I really like that talk you gave, or I love your hair. I like your jacket. Oh, I've had it for 7 years, got a hole in the armpit. Oh, my hair's really dirty. I don't know how I pulled off that talk. I learned this when a very, very famous film director came to my house for a session. I knew him. I loved his movies. He sat down and I said, I must tell you, by the way, that I love this particular film. John, and his response was, oh, it was terrible. And I said, but it won an award. So I thought I'd lost you all there for a minute. And he said, yes, I know, but there were no good nominations that year. I went, okay, you know, one of my happiest memories is being 17 and my father took me to London to see another film. He said, that was even worse. But he got an Oscar. Yes, you see, there were even less good nominations that year. And oh, I know why you're depressed. Why? You can't let in praise. And when I praise you, you know what you do? You add in criticism. I don't know how that won an award. It was the wrong person. The lady was wrong. It was supposed to be in London. It was all filmed in France. I'm sure you could tell I couldn't tell at all. And he could not let in praise. Praise to him was unfamiliar and criticism was familiar. So I want you to think, and I want you to write out again, what is familiar in your life you'd like to make unfamiliar? That could be lying on the sofa eating Pringles all night. What is familiar that you would like to make unfamiliar? That could be being alone, being without love. What is familiar you'd like to make unfamiliar? What is unfamiliar that you would like to make familiar? So your brain has a belief, if it's familiar, it's safe. After all, if you went back several hundred years and were living, let's say, out in the Wild West, and you were living in a fort and you were protected by the fort, you wouldn't say, so bored of this fort. These people are the same every day. I'm going to climb over the fort or make a run for it. And I've seen these Native American Indian encampment. I'm going to go and hang out with them because I want variety. Because your brain would say, no, 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 variety might kill you. So your brain has a belief, if I know it and it's familiar, it's safe. And if I don't know it and it's not familiar, it's unsafe. That's a fact. But here's another fact. You can make anything you like familiar. And if you want to make one thing familiar today, take one thing for today, make it praise. Start saying, I like myself. I'm an interesting person. I have a gift. I have a talent. I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm fun. I'm warm. Whatever you like. There is nothing, nothing, nothing that will boost your self-esteem like self-praise. You might say, I want to make working out familiar. I want to get up an hour early. I want to go to bed an hour early. I want to stop shouting at my kids. I want to be fit. I want to write that book, write that program, learn coding, learn a language. Thing is, you can make anything familiar and you can make anything unfamiliar. But whatever you make familiar, you're going to keep going to, and whatever is unfamiliar, you're going to move away from. You know, if I put some silicone on my finger and shove it in my eye, that would be very weird. But if I did it every day, as a contact lens, it would be familiar. If I ran every day, if I took the sugar out of my coffee or tea, it would become familiar. So I'm going to tell you one more rule of your mind, then I'm going to do this fantastic activation. But I do want you to write out what is familiar that you don't want, and what is unfamiliar that you do want. What is unfamiliar to you that you would love to have, and what is familiar that you'd love to be free of. And by the way, there's a little hint here. Your brain thinks you want it. If you keep saying, I'm always alone, I never find love, nothing works out, your brain probably thinks, you know what? You said last time it would kill me if I got dumped again. you're better alone. If you say things like, look at that rich bitch, look at that fat cat, these people are disgustingly wealthy, obscenely rich. You told your brain money is a bad thing. It's dirty, it's obscene, it's disgusting, rich bitch, fat cat, filthy rich. And no wonder you don't have it, but you didn't know you were telling your brain that. But we make these funny little jokey expressions, having no idea that this part of our brain doesn't have a sense of humor. It's very literal. Let me give you one more very quick rule of your mind. It's so easy. Your mind has one time zone. It's called right now. So if you're making affirmations or statements or vision boards and you put on them next year, I'll be rich, I'll have a killer body, I'll be madly in love, I'll be pregnant, next year, I'll be living in my own home. You might as well say bananas on toast because your brain doesn't know what next year is. It's a bit like, when I would drive my child to Scotland, that's a 7-hour journey, get in the car, set off. After much, she says, Mummy, we're there now, because her brain could only live in the now. When you're in pain, you can't imagine it ending because your brain lives in the now. And if you're depressed, you can't imagine next year when you're fine on a holiday. So if you're doing vision boards, doing affirmations, doing statements, I want you to add these words. Now, right now, this minute, immediately, instantly. You might think, most of that doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. My leg was broken in 16 places. I lay in bed, so my leg is healing now, which it kind of was, and it wasn't. It was healing every minute. But I'd say right now, this minute, my left leg is looking just like my right leg. The bones are healing right now. Of course, the healing is something that takes place over time. But if I said in 6 months my leg will be perfect, my brain doesn't know that. But it knows my leg is becoming perfect, normal, healthy, and healed. My left leg is perfect. It gets that. So even if it doesn't make sense to you, you see, if you say, next year I'm going to find love, next year it will work out, next year it will happen, you have to say, I'm finding love. Now you might say, look, I'm lying in bed watching TV. It doesn't matter. You still say, love is finding me now, and I'm finding it. So the words if, when, and as. If you say, if I ever make it, there's a lot of doubt in the word if. It's a doubtful word. If you say, when I make it, that's over there. But if you say, as I make it, as I find success, and success finds me, as I find love and love finds me, as I drop those 10 pounds, I don't need it's easy. But when you say, if I ever drop 10 pounds, when I lose 10 pounds, if I make it, when I make it. So scrub if, scrub when, and put in as. It probably sounds a bit clunky. It doesn't matter. But let's talk now about your success. You see, the mind has rules. It has very clear rules. One of its rules is to keep you safe, and we learn these rules very early on. We learn, if we have parents who say, oh, people like us, that doesn't happen. Look at those rich people on the hill. They don't know they're born. That will never happen to people like us. Your parents might say things like, don't draw attention to yourself. Don't do that. Of course, you can't be a speaker, an actor, a writer. Who's going to listen to you? And we learn certain things. We learn very early on that we're not enough, we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough, we're not interesting enough. We learn that the things we want are not available to us. And we also learn that we're different. So I want you to do one more thing before I begin. I want you to write in the chat bar, if this was a magic wand, I could go abracadabra, abracadabra, make one wish, and I promise it will happen. I want you to think of something you could wish for, something you could require. If I could give you one thing today, I'm going to have a look at what you're putting in because I want to give you that one thing. So, gosh, a lot of questions here, but that's good. Let's have a look at what it is you want so much. And remember, turn the word want to require. I require a healthy relationship, money and success, my own business, my own home, peace, another baby, a healthy, loving relationship, a very successful career, confidence, a great body, financial freedom. I want you now to put in the chat bar, why do you think you don't have it? I'm not going to ask you to do many things more, but I really want you to answer this one. Why do you think you don't have it? A lovely relationship, people who support me, more money, And a perfect, healthy body, healing, better health, married, money, faith in myself, abundance of everything, my own home, healthy body. So we're seeing a pattern here. There are many things, but the three things that are coming up over and over again: a healthy body, a healthy business where you make a lot of money, and a beautiful, loving relationship. So now just tell me, if you don't mind, very, very quickly, why, what, why, how? Why don't you have that already? What is it that's got in your own way? What is it? I'm just looking for some of these answers. Let me speed this up. I don't know what's holding me back. Well, it's usually fear of the unfamiliar. If you've never had money, 70% of lottery winners are broke in 3 years. 90% of inherited wealth is gone in 3 generations. I worry it won't work out. What else? I'm afraid of the risk. The only risk in life is not to take the risk. The biggest risk in your whole life is not to take the risk. I have a sense of shame. I don't feel I'm worth it. I need some proof beforehand. I don't take action. I lounge around. And again, that's just something that's familiar. That's all that is. I was constantly criticized. I doubt myself. My family is small-minded and mean. I don't deserve it. This happens so much. I don't deserve it. I haven't worked hard enough. So unless I work hard, I haven't proved I'm worth it. I don't have confidence. Let's just pick 2 more. Toxic people around me. I've never had it before, so I don't know how to have it now. I don't believe in myself. I self-sabotage. I'm going to pick just 1 more. Let's have a look for 1 more. I'm not confident because I believe people don't value me. Okay, so we're going to do some hypnosis. I don't really think, oh my God, what if I stay in hypnosis forever? You see, your brain goes back every single day to work out what something means. I'll give you an example. If I hear Barry White, I'm back with my very first boyfriend, also called Barry, because that's what my brain makes a Barry White. And I'm 17 again. If I smell Chanel number 5, I'm back with my mother. That was her fragrance. If I taste apple pie, I'm always in my grandmother's kitchen. So smells take us back. The smell of cologne, the smell of freshly baked bread, the smell of coconut might take you back to the beach. Taste take us back, the taste of ice cream or warm milk or something that you had in your childhood. And sounds. The sound that the song at your first wedding, the song you dated to, and also even body language. If you run down the road with your arm up like that for long enough, you start to feel like you're a 2-year-old kid running along beside your parent. So your brain goes back every time to work out what something means. I'm going to ask your brain to go back and have a look at what happened to your confidence, because here's the truth. You've said in this chat bar, I'm not worth it, I don't deserve it, I don't know how to get it. When you were born, in fact, when you were in your mother's womb, it was always 75 degrees. You had 24-hour room service. Somebody was always there. And that was your experience. Even if your parent didn't want you and it was an unwanted pregnancy, even if you're going to be put up for adoption, still, in the womb, all your needs were met. You had food, warmth, connection, another person. It was safe. So when you were first born, you had a belief, oh, well, that's going to be the same. Someone's going to be there. They're going to feed me. All my needs are met. Babies expect that because it's all they know. And they're rather alarmed when it doesn't happen. So if you were born with the belief, all my needs are going to be met because I'm worth it, and I promise you, you were born with that belief, here's the question. Where did it go? What happened? Because you haven't actually lost it. You've buried it under some other stuff. So today we're going to go back and find out what happened to your belief that you were worthy of love, deserving of attention, worthy of having all your needs met. We're just going to have a look at it. It is not dangerous. You can't relive anything. You can just review it. And by the way, the word cure comes from the word curious. When you think, oh, wow, I'm curious, I'm fascinated. Let me go back and have a look at this. And if I can understand where, how, why I picked up this stuff, I can change it. So we're going to do that right now. And I'm just going to tell you a little tiny thing about me just for a minute. So when I was a kid, I actually went to my father's school. I would never recommend that. I was 11, he was my head teacher, but I moved there from another school. My father got promoted. And so I had a different uniform. And my father, coming from a different generation, well, that's brand new. You've only had it for 3 months. You need to wear that until it doesn't fit. So I went to my father's school with a different school uniform to all the other kids. I couldn't have felt more like a freak if I had it tattooed across my forehead. I felt different. I felt disconnected. I felt like a freak. I felt different, and it was like walking through the world with a curse. And one day I said to my dad, please, just give me something from the lost property. I don't care. I want to wear the same clothes. And to his credit, I think he realized, so I promptly got a brand new uniform. But the damage was done. I felt different. But long, long after I left my father's school, I took that with me. I say I picked up a belief, I'm different. I'm not like other people. And of course, my father, being a head teacher, was very interested in other people's children. He was paid to be. Didn't seem that interested in me. So I formed a belief, oh, love, you got to earn that. You got to work for it. You got to chase it. It's just not there. You got to prove all the time that you're worth it. And I can't tell you how much that damaged me, the relationships I went into, how destructive I was, because I had a belief. I got to work for your love. I've got to earn it, and it won't last. And I had the loveliest boyfriends. I was the one that messed it up because of this belief. And one day, I just kind of woke up to myself and thought, you know what? This is familiar, believing I have to work so hard for love. But I can make it unfamiliar. I can sound worthy of someone who worships me and puts me first. I found my husband. We've been married for 16 years. And it wouldn't even occur to me now, because now that's familiar. So just because it was familiar once, it doesn't have to be familiar anymore. I used to drink tea with honey in it. I would never do that now. It was familiar, and now it isn't. So never doubt how quickly you can make something that is familiar and negative, or unfamiliar and negative, the opposite. So I'm going to ask you to look up like this. We're going to practice first. All you're going to do is put your eyes into what's called an alpha brainwave. When you look up, the position you use to sleep, you go into an alpha brainwave. So roll up your eyes. Nothing can happen at all. And keeping your eyeballs up, close your eyelids down. That's good. And open. If you can do that, you can go into a form of hypnosis, and you're going to like it. It can change your entire life. Everything I have, and I have a lot, it's all because of one thing, beginning with H, and it's not husband, it's hypnosis. He's very good, but it's hypnosis that gave me everything I have, and it's about to do the same for you. So make yourself comfortable. Don't cross your legs or ankles. Don't cross your arms. Try to sit with your knees apart, feet apart, hands like that if you can, but at least in an open position. And when you're ready, roll up your eyes. That's all you have to do. Look up and keep them up in that position as you inhale and exhale 3 times. Breathe in. Keep your eyeballs up. Exhale. Breathe in again. Keep your eyeballs up. Exhale. And one more time. Breathe in. Hold it. Hold it. Every time you blink, deep, powerful, healing hypnosis is coming upon you. And this time, as you exhale, keep your eyeballs up, but just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. Close your eyelids down. And with your eyelids shut, drop your chin. Get that same looking down feeling that you might get as you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. You're looking down 10 steps. And right now you're moving on to step 10. In fact, you can see your feet, hear your feet, even feel your feet connecting to step 10 and 9 as you go deeper. You're taking step 8 and you are going deeper into healing hypnosis with every sound you hear. As you take step 7, the sound of your breathing is taking you deeper. As you take step 6, the sound of your heartbeat is taking you deeper. As you take step 5, the sound of my voice is taking you deeper into a powerful awareness of yourself. As you take step 4, every sound and noise and movement is flowing through you, relaxing you more and more. You're taking step 3, drifting way down deep. You're taking step 2. You're taking step one, just go deeper, 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 deeper. And I want you to imagine the movie of your life is rewinding. You're looking at a screen. You're reaching out and pressing rewind. And the movie of your life is going backwards. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. You're asking your brain one question. I want to go back to understand why I don't believe in myself. I want to go back to understand why I don't think I'm enough. I want you to say this out loud. I am ready to go back to find out why I think I'm not enough. I'm ready to go back to find out why I don't believe in myself enough. And your mind already knows exactly where that scene is. You see, I'm not taking you in, you are taking me exactly where you need to go. Your mind knows exactly when, how, where, why you felt not enough. And now you're going back to the cause of that not enoughness. You are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body as you go backwards, 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 back in time, becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. All of a sudden, that movie of your life is rewinding, rewinding, stopping. And it's as if your mind has been filled up with a scene. Why don't you just switched on your computer? It's warming up, a scene is filling the screen, and there you are. You are right in the middle of this scene. And you can answer any question I put to you so easily. So here's a question. This scene you are in now, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or out? Are you on your own? Or is somebody with you? And you'll find you just know. But here's the only question that matters. This scene, it's in your head right now. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? As I click my fingers, you can see what you saw. You can even hear what you heard as your ears open, and you can feel what you felt. So stay in that scene. Look over. Look around, look through that little kid who used to be. I want you to look at this scene with fascination and insight and curiosity. I want you to go, wow, look at that. Of course, here I am in the scene. I'm just X years old and I'm hearing this, seeing this, feeling this. So look at that scene with fascination. Look over it, look around it, look through it. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? Take another few seconds to look at it. And then just put it to one side like a video. As we do this again, we're going to do it just 3 times. And each time where you go back will be more vivid, more vital, more explanatory to you to understand why today you don't feel enough when it's not true. But if you feel it, of course, it might as well be true. So let's do it again. On the count of 5, you are going back again. That movie of your life is rewinding. Rewinding, rewinding, years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body as you travel back, move back, go back. You're going back in time to a vivid, vital, crucial, significant scene that is the cause, the reason, the root of you not feeling enough. You're going backwards, 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 becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. That movie of your life is stopping. And the scene is filling up your mind like you just switched on the television set. And this scene where you are now, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? Are you on your own or is anybody with you? And the only question that matters in this scene is, what are you doing, seeing, feeling? As I click my fingers, you can see what you saw. As your ears open, you can hear what you heard. You can even feel exactly what you felt. Look at that scene with fascination. What are you doing? What are you seeing? What are you hearing, feeling? And how has that scene led you as an adult to think you're not enough? Look over and around that scene with tremendous insight. Look at it, look over it, look around it, look through it, and then put it to one side again. We're going to come back to it. And for just one more time, On the count of 5, one more time, you are rewinding the movie of your life. One more time, you are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. You are drifting back, going further and further back. Even further back, you are traveling right back to a vivid, vital, crucial, powerful, significant scene that is all to do with why you feel not enough. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter, drifting back, traveling back, moving back. Just be there as I click my fingers. All of a sudden, you're in a scene. And you know the answer to every question I ask you. This scene where you are now. Is it daytime or nighttime? Is it inside or outside? Are you on your own or with someone? How old are you about? And here is the only question that matters in this scene where you are now. What are you doing, seeing, feeling? As I click my fingers, you can see what you saw like it was yesterday. Your ears are opening. You can hear something being said over you, around you, about you. And you can even feel the same feeling. So look over and around and through that scene with interest, with insight, with fascination, with curiosity. I want you to look at that scene and go, wow, look at that kid. That was me. And in that scene, I felt X. I believed X, Y, Z. Just look at that scene. You see, before the age of 5, you had no logic, only a feeling. So look at the feelings. I want you now to imagine you're holding in your left hand 3 video cassettes, 3 tapes, 3 audios, 3 photographs of those 3 scenes you just went back to. And I want you to see something that connects the scenes. Maybe in every scene you were abandoned. Maybe in every scene you were made wrong. Maybe in every scene you were alone. Maybe in every scene you were the kid that felt the least important. People didn't understand you. You didn't feel you mattered. I want you to look at those scenes. We're almost coming to the end of this now. I know it feels quite long, but we've done the long bit. Look at those scenes, and I want you to see one thing that they would have had in common. Oh, in each scene, I felt stupid. I wasn't heard. I felt like I was the least important person in my family. I want you to look at those scenes again with insight. Just look at them just for a few seconds more. And I want you to just allow yourself to understand, how did those scenes impact you? How do they affect you? What did those scenes cost you? This may seem fast, but this is fast therapy. It's fast, it's powerful, it's permanent, it's amazing. Look at those scenes and ask yourself one question. How did those scenes impact me? How did they shape me? What did those scenes do to me? How did they mold me? What did those scenes cost me? Take a minute or two. I really want you to get this right. This is probably the most important part of what we're doing. And you may end up doing this for your own clients one day, so really do it. And when you've looked, you see, I might be able to understand what it cost me to go to my father's school and feel like a freak, but this is about you. What did those scenes cost you? How do they shape you, mold you, impact you? And then I want you to do something amazing. I want you to go back to scene 1. I want you to say, that's not me anymore, because, and I want you to really say it. So imagine, for all of you listening, you go into a scene where you're wearing hand-me-down clothes, or you don't have anything nice in your house, or you have horrible food, or you don't have a dad who does, or your mom's always at work. That's not your life today. But your brain hasn't quite caught up. And I want you to go, that's not me anymore. Because, and you can say, because I'm not 3, I'm not 5, I don't live there. So I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to kind of go dot, 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 and you are going to finish it. But you are going to state it, affirm it, even shout it at the screen, because I want your brain to accept that you've taken a pattern with you for so long and it's not you. So think of scene 1, whatever scene 1 was, whatever you went back to first, think of it. And I want you to repeat these very words with me right now. That's not me anymore, because keep going. Complete that statement. Justify to me on the screen why that is not you anymore. Let's do it again. Scene 1. Really go for it. That's not me anymore because. Shout out that. I want you to go back to the next scene. Someone just said in every scene, well, I want you to keep your eyes closed. My brother was putting me down. But he's not doing that. And even if he was, you can move away from him. You can retaliate. You can say, oh, you're a critical person. Critical people don't like themselves. I feel very sorry for you because you're not a child. You can't be bullied by an older brother when you're a grown-up adult. Let's go to scene 2. Shout out, that's not me anymore because. And if your scenes happen to be happy, you consider that's not me because I can make myself happy. I don't have to depend on my family unit. So still in scene 2, that's not me anymore because, and really shout it at the screen, affirm it, state it, embody it. And then let's go to scene 3. And again, we're doing this quite quickly, but you can do this again and again at home. You have a lot more time. I want you to go to scene 3. And I want you to really shout out with me, that's not me anymore because, and make sure you complete and finish that sentence. Do it right now. And let's do it one more time. I want you to repeat word for word for the rest of my long, gorgeous life. That will not be me. That cannot be me ever again because. And let's just do that one more time. For the rest of my long, gorgeous life, that cannot be me, will not be me ever again because. And let's just take 2 minutes. I want you to shout out, I'm enough. And again, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Really make this familiar. If you can make enoughness, knowing you're enough familiar, you can change your entire life. So do it with me. I am enough. I want you to repeat every sentence I'm saying till I ask you to stop. I have always been enough. I always will be enough. I'm enough. And as I know that I'm enough, you can see that I'm enough too. I'm enough. I matter. Keep repeating every statement. I matter. I'm significant. I'm worthy. I'm lovable. And again, I'm enough. I matter. I'm significant. I'm worthy. And just one more time. I'm enough. I matter. I'm significant. I'm worthy. I'm lovable. I'm going to tell you one more thing. The words that follow I am will follow you for your entire life. And the words that go after I am will absolutely go after you. I've given you 5 great ams. Let's do them one more time. I am enough. I am significant. I'm lovable. I'm worthy. But I want you to give me 5 more. You might say, I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I'm amazing. So give me 5 I ams. I am. Keep going. 4 more. Another I am. Finish that sentence. I am. Complete that statement. And just one more I am. And then again, say this with me. I am lovable. I'm enough. I am worthy. I am significant. I'm amazing. I'm everything. I matter. And then just slowly come back and imagine bringing that little kid with you whose brother picked on them, who didn't have nice things. Bring them back into the room. And I want you to notice how different you feel already just from doing something so simple, going back to what I call unfinished business. You went back. You had a look at something that needed to be fixed. You had a look at some old scenes. And you understood how they impacted you, how they shaped you, how they molded you. And then you thought, you know what? I'm going to shape and mold myself from now on. That is not me. It was me. There's no doubt it was me, but it's not me now. It was me, but it's not me anymore. I'm not that person. So you went back and had a look at, you found a pattern, if you like, you found the pattern that got in your own way. You understood, but you also changed it. You created some new I ams. You said, that's not me because. And then when you found out what you thought you were, you realized it wasn't you. And then you did the third thing. You told the world what you are. You see, it's no one's job to tell you. It is your job to tell the world who you are, and what you are capable of. And this is not long. This work isn't long. It isn't painful. It isn't drawn out. It's actually very easy, but it's also powerful. Never mistake the fact that it's so simple for the fact that results it gives you are profound. We've had this really wrong belief, oh, if my problem is complex, I need complex therapy. No, you don't. We all have the same problem. I'm not enough. I can't get what I want. I'm different, so I can't connect. It's not available. None of that is true. It may feel true. You may have looked for proof of why it's true, but the truth is you are enough. You matter, and you can have the most amazing life. You can have it all. You can even have it all the time, but you got to work on this self-belief, this mindset. And you must have this mindset that says, I'm worthy of love and success and wealth and health and whatever else you want and require. I'm worthy of it. I deserve it. And now I'm going to go out and get it. You see, going out and getting it when you don't feel you're worthy doesn't work. And even if you do get it, most people who get stuff and feel unworthy self-sabotage. It's a 3-step process. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. You've got to get that 80% success mindset. And then when you know you're worth it, go out and get it. But this time you can keep it because you know you're worth it. It's like a loop. I'm worth it, so I'm going to work hard to get whatever. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to compound it because I'm worth it. So I want you to put in the chat bar, if you wouldn't mind, what that was like for you. What did you go back and take a look at? What scene? I know someone said in every scene my brother was bullying me, diminishing me, putting me down. In every scene I was an instant. In every scene my mother was late to pick me up from school until I felt she didn't care about me. In every scene I was the least important kid. My siblings always shut me up. My dad put me down. So I'm going to read some of them out. Because, you know, we all think we're different. We all have the same problem. We're not different. We all have a fear of being different, so we can't connect. If we all have that fear, the very fact we all have that fear, if I fear I'm different and you fear being different, then we must be the same because we've got the same fear. Isn't that amazing? The fear of being different actually means you're the same as everyone and everyone is the same as you. So people were going back to being bullied, feeling they weren't loved, feeling that they didn't matter, they weren't significant, they weren't safe. That's when I wasn't safe. I was put down. I was left outside. I was forgotten. I was treated like I was stupid. In every scene, I was alone. In every scene, I needed validation. In every scene, I was being hit because I cried. In every scene, I felt so small. In every scene, there was no place. I mean, see, these are so sad. This is heartbreaking. But the thing is, that was then, it's not now. In every scene, I was less than. I wasn't liked. My parents told me I shouldn't be here. I was bullied. My mum didn't ever have money. People left me out of things. These are all so terribly sad. You know, I've been hearing this for 40 years. But here's the thing, that was then. Life doesn't go backwards. You're an arrow. And that awful life was a bow. When you put an arrow in a bow and fire it, the arrow goes away from the bow. I want you to think of all that stuff as a bow, that shitty childhood, that empty childhood, that uncaring childhood, that unfair childhood was a bow, but you're an arrow. And arrows don't go backwards. No matter how bad that childhood was, it is behind you. I can't change what's behind you. I can change what's in front of you if you let me change what's inside you. The thoughts you think, the words that come out of your mouth, the beliefs you hold, that's all you can ever change. We all have this belief, if I can control everything, I'll be safe. But you can't control other people. You can't really control us or the weather, but you can control the things that matter, the thoughts running through your head, words coming out of your mouth, and the actions you take. And if you control those, you can make your life amazing. Someone said my parents put me in the hospital for a couple of days because I was very short as a child and they thought I needed growth. And I remember one of my clients saying he was stuttered and he was put in a children's home because he stuttered. And all the other kids would steal his food. He became a multimillionaire, and his wife said, when we go out for dinner, he puts his hands around the food like that. Imagine this is a fork. And if you go to, he will stab you if you go near it. He still eats like he's this kid in a children's home. Nobody can touch his food. And he eats really, really fast. But he learned that as a tiny kid. He stuttered. The kids would steal his food. He learned to hold his fork, cram it in really quickly. All these years later, as a millionaire, he never sat back and thought, wow, let me order this steak and this beautiful dressing and sit and enjoy it. He just crammed it in because the brain kept going back to what it meant. Somebody might steal it. If they did, he was a billionaire, could buy it again and again and again. So we have to find the pattern which you did today, make sense of it, and change. You did all of that today. And I want you to keep doing, I want you to keep saying, that's not me. And keep saying, I am. Do 10 I ams every day. I promise you, it will change your entire life. So Elise is going to tell you her story, which is a very part of how she had to find her pattern. Her pattern was having a physical illness that was predicted to cause her life to be massively debilitated. She's going to tell you an amazing story, not long, about how she found her pattern and changed it forever. And we're going to help you continue. We're going to do a Q&A. Please don't go away, because in the Q&A, I'm going to ask any question you have. But right now, Elise is going to come on. I'm going to sit and read all these hundreds and hundreds of things you've written to me, because I'm so touched and honored that you are sharing your story with me. You're sharing your pain. I want you to free you from it forever. But I want Elise to come on and tell you her story, and then I'll be here. So please don't go away. Elise, I know you've got a fascinating story. We never get tired of hearing it. So come on, darling, and
Thanks so
show
much,
them
Marissa.
how you found your pattern, understood it, and changed it forever, just like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it took me a long time actually to realize that I was blocking my own success. I just kept striving and driving and pushing myself to the point of complete and utter burnout, which I'll speak to in a second. But thank you for that wonderful experience, Marissa. I think the key to that is such a powerful tool in the RTT tool belt that we use as therapists, as RTT therapists. But understanding where these patterns and where these blockers come from really is the power for you to unlock and break the cycle and move forward and live the life that you were always supposed to lead, which is exactly what happened to me. So my success blocks, I would say, started very early, not in adulthood, but I grew up with a stepfather who told me that I would never amount to anything. The best I could hope for would be stacking shelves in a supermarket, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but he sort of held it over me like that would be me as ultimately a failure. And those words as a child, which I heard from probably about age 5 until I left home at 17 to go to university, they sat with me for a long time. And I feel like they really shaped my identity more than I realized at the time. I didn't realize that these words, that these things that had happened when I was younger were affecting me. It was just, I grew up, as an anxious child, you grew into an anxious adult. But what I did find is this pattern of me constantly sabotaging myself. So when I was growing up, I was like the top of the class at school, always striving, always wanting that validation from other people that I was doing good because I just didn't feel good enough myself. So when I went to university, I had this really strong desire to be a therapist or to be a counselor. And I thought, I won't be able to do it. There's no way that I'll be able to do it. I'm not good enough. I'll never get the right grades to do it. And I left university with a psychology degree, but thinking, I'm not going to be able to be a therapist because I don't have a lot of life experience. I grew up with quite a sheltered life, actually, in the valleys of Wales. And I thought, I don't have the life experience to do this. And ultimately, at my core, I was thinking, I'm not worthy and deserving of helping other people because I can't do that. I've been told I can't do that and I can't do it. So I actually ended up working in PR and marketing for many, many years. And actually, on the surface of it, I looked very successful. I was an account director in a PR agency. I was going out and doing talks in front of hundreds of people. I was delivering new business presentations. And on the surface of it, I looked like this really confident, outgoing, happy PR lady. But Under the surface, it was a very different tale because under the surface, I was absolutely riddled with anxiety. Um, I was barely eating, barely sleeping. I was working around the clock. I was trapped in what was a horribly toxic work environment where it was all about hustle culture. The more you worked, the better it was. There was never enough hours that you couldn't work in the day. And I pushed myself because I thought I need to prove to myself, to others, and almost to that stepdad who told me that I would never amount to anything, that I would amount to something. So I pushed and strived and struggled, all while putting a happy face on it. Anxiety was so bad at one point that there was catastrophe at every corner. I remember going to work one day and I was on the train to work and I was thinking about what if this train crashed all of a sudden? What would I do? And I mapped out this 20-minute escape plan of how I would, smash the windows, how I would help other people, how I would get myself here. And by the time I actually got to work and got off the train, I was in an absolute state of meltdown panic. My heart was racing, my stomach was churning. And I just thought it was at that point actually that I thought anxiety is really bad. This is ridiculous. I've just spent 20 minutes imagining a train crash that's very, very unlikely to ever happen. But I've just put my body and my mind into that position where it has. But I continued like this for quite a long time. I just felt like I constantly needed to push myself, to prove myself. But eventually, shortly after, I sort of escaped that world, thankfully, and I became pregnant with my son. But shortly after, I had a lot of issues with my health, just random symptoms over time. And to cut a very long story short, I know a lot of you watching today will have already heard my story, but I was actually diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which I genuinely believe was my body screaming at me to stop because I'd been ignoring it for such a long time that eventually I just burnt out and my body said, right, you're not listening to me. So actually, I'm going to stop you now. I'm going to stop you in your tracks. I'm going to give you a chronic health condition. You're going to have to change your life. And it's only actually when I did RTT that I realized that this was directly linked to, the fact that I was just always striving, always trying to prove myself to the expense of my own health. And I know a lot of people on here can probably relate to that as well, where, they've maybe grown up as the child who's always excelled, and then they've just struggled through life because they feel like they need that external validation. But ultimately, what RTT showed to me is that I just had no value in myself. I spoke to myself horribly when I think about it now. I had this horrible inner critic who just mirrored the words of my father. You'll never achieve anything. You're no good. You're not attractive. Nobody's going to want you. You might as well just give up now. You might as well just resign yourself to the fact that this is life for you. So it's actually no surprise now that because I'd been kind of fueled with all of that for such a long time and repressed that emotion and took that on, that eventually my body said, ha, right, okay, you're not going to express that emotion. You're not going to speak about your struggles. You're not going to tell people. So it needed to have an outlet to go. And I do genuinely believe that that became a physical manifestation of MS myself. But it took me a long time because after I was diagnosed, I fell into a huge spiral of anxiety and depression. And it was only actually because my son had got a space early at nursery that I actually realized that I was just living in this pit of depression. After he went to school, it just broke me because I thought I have nothing in my life. I'm literally just sitting here waiting to get worse. The doctors gave me some drugs, said, go away, you'll probably get gradually worse, but take these drugs and it'll slow down progression of the disease. So I was sitting around just waiting to get worse, and it was horrible. But when my son went to nursery, I thought, I don't want him to see me like this because, I want to be inspiring. I don't want him to just come home and be like, oh, my mummy's, not able to get out of bed today. Oh, she's really struggling today. She can't string a sentence together. She can't speak properly because at that point I had lots of issues with brain fog, with chronic pain, with massive fatigue where I could barely get out of bed. So I started to look around for something that could help myself, actually, even if it just built a little bit of confidence in myself, because it completely stripped the little confidence that I had in myself completely away from me. And that's when I discovered Marissa. So I discovered a video of Marissa on YouTube many moons ago, and it was like she was directly speaking to me through the screen because she was talking about the power of the body and the mind, the power that, your mind and your body sometimes become disconnected, and that's why we end up with physical health conditions. She was talking about her own recovery from cancer, from health issues that she'd had in her life. And I just thought, she's speaking to me. And so after a little while, after I'd binge watched everything that I could find on the Marissa Peer YouTube channel, and after reading a couple of her books and doing the I Am Enough program, which I absolutely loved, I thought, there's something in this RTT. I need to go and do this. And that's exactly what I did. So initially, I went and I did a session purely around anxiety because I thought, well, if I can just lessen some of this anxiety, hopefully, that'll help me. It'll help me get out of the house because at this point I was quite reclusive. I was barely leaving the house. And maybe it'll just help me to feel a little bit happier for my son. And I did the first session, and the results that I got were just amazing because it felt like years of pressure, strain, stress that had been sitting on my shoulders had just been lifted. And I instantly felt so much better. And in the space of a month, I felt so much happier and more confident. And I thought, this is incredible. I need to go in now. And I decided that I was going to do 3 more sessions, but I was going to actually go in to tackle MS because I thought, even if I can slow down progression or I can just ease some of the symptoms, this has got to help me. And it absolutely did. I did 3 sessions over the space of probably about 8 or 9 months. And the results I got were amazing. So life before was chronic fatigue, chronic pain, chronic brain fog, lots of really weird sensory systems, pins and needles in my arms and legs. And that was 10 years ago now that I was diagnosed. But here I am today speaking to you all on camera, something that I never dreamed I would be able to do. And I'm just so very, very grateful for RTT. So it completely transformed my life in so many ways because it also took me away from a horrible toxic marriage. It gave me my confidence, a confidence that I don't think I ever had until I actually did RTT. But the fact that I got myself well, I just thought, do you know what? I've seen so many people struggling around me with anxiety, health conditions, low confidence. We need more people to talk about RTT. So ultimately, I revisited the dream that I had when I left university with my inner critic saying, you can't be a therapist, you can't be a counselor. And I went and I trained in RTT. And it was the best decision that I ever made in my life because not only did it transform my life, I get the honor and privilege now of transforming other people's lives by helping them. I also work with people with chronic health conditions to help them get well the way I did. And I work with people with anxiety because I understand it. And it's the most fulfilling, wonderful job in the whole wide world. When I think back now to that horrible, toxic corporate career that I was trapped in, it's like miles apart. And actually, I sometimes, I really do believe that the universe sends you in funny directions sometimes and sends you challenges and curveballs. And actually, I think it brought that health condition into my life to make me change and to put me on the right life path. And I am absolutely 100%. Even now, I talk about this all the time. It still makes me feel teary. It throws you these curveballs because it wants you to change and follow that life path and ultimately achieve all your dreams and be the person that you were always meant to be. So it completely transformed my life. I'm so grateful for it. I jumped on board and did the training. The training was absolutely amazing. I was nervous to start with because I thought, will I be able to do this? I'd had struggles in the past, even though I was very well then at that point. But the team are just amazing. The team of trainers, Marissa, your peers around you as well. It's like one big, amazing RTT family. And I absolutely loved it. And when I graduated, I went out there and started to work with friends and family and then built my business. And like I say, now I run a thriving practice helping people with chronic health conditions and anxiety to overcome those struggles, those blockers to success, and live their very best lives. So what I did find when I graduated actually is that I was doing RTT, but I was also doing a lot of kind of informal coaching around those sessions as well. And so I kind of introduced coaching into that. But this amazing news now is that Marissa has actually introduced this brand new integrated program, which combines RTT with RTC, rapid transformational coaching as well, to really give that holistic approach. Because what I find is that when you do RTT, the really deep work, like the session that we just did just now with Marissa, we're getting to the root cause of the problem and we're pulling out those weeds. We're finding that root cause. We're having that understanding, which helps us to set ourselves free. And then we're reprogramming, recoding our minds to move forward. But then once we've done that and those blockers to success are not holding us back anymore, it's like, what's next? And that's the coaching element of it. So I absolutely love this new integrated program because it's just fantastic because it combines the two, which just go beautifully hand in hand together. But one of my biggest worries when I first started my business was I'd never, ever, ever run a business before. I was thinking, how am I going to get clients? How am I going to market myself? I had a background in PR, but I've never really PR'd myself. How would I set up a webinar? But the wonderful thing about this integrated program is that the team here at Marissa Peer support you through it all. So you're not left trying to figure it all out. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the integrated program now. I think lovely George behind the scene is going to pop some slides up on screen for me. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about the integrated program. So it really is like amazing, like I've sort of mentioned there, meaningful work. If you're looking for a career where you wake up every day and you know that you're genuinely transforming lives and helping people, it makes a massive, massive difference. If you're caught in a career at the moment where you're struggling or you're thinking, what's the point of this? Or you're just, surviving rather than thriving, this is just such an amazing job to do. It also gives you complete freedom, which I love because I'm a single mum. It gives me the chance to be my own boss, to set my own hours, to work from anywhere in the world, which I love because it means that I can go to school plays, I can have Christmas time off, I can spend time with my son, which is absolutely precious to me. Financial success as well. So we support you to build a thriving practice with high earning potential while doing work that you love. So I'm earning way more than I was when I was in my horrible corporate job, but I'm probably working a fraction of the hours that I was. So it gives you that flexibility around your life. I just touched on that. You can work part-time, full-time, fit it around your children, travel, other commitments. I went on holiday to Mexico last year and actually continued seeing my clients because I love what I do so much and I can take my business anywhere. Continuous growth as well. So we always support you to you're always learning, developing, and you're always becoming that very best version of yourself. And I touched on this earlier as well, the community side of things. So you're joining a global network of like-minded practitioners who understand and support you on your journey. We really are like an amazing big RTT family. So it is really lovely to be part of that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the business support and the infrastructure that you get. So you're going to get a supported business model where you're guided into building your practice with systems, structures, and the marketing support in place to help you grow it. So you're not alone in this. So we're going to support you with clients. So you'll have the opportunity to apply to be on our Inner Belief platform, which is designed to support practitioners with visibility so that we can connect you with clients. We're also going to provide guidance and support around marketing and visibility, including things like your paid advertising strategies. We're going to support you as well with the tools and the structure to establish your professional online presence, so your website, etc. We'll help you with your tech structure as well, your booking systems, the tools and structure to help you set up your professional business so you're not alone in this. So don't be worried if you're thinking, I've never run a business before, because we're giving you that support to do it. We're going to help you with your marketing support, so showing you how to position yourself, tell your story, find your niche and attract those ideal clients. And we also have our success guarantee. So this is a guarantee to support you to succeed, basically. Support you to have successful paying clients and a thriving practice. So we are with you every step of the way to support you because we want you to be a success and we're there to help you succeed. So if this is resonating with you at all, I mean, I can't shout it from the rooftops enough how much I love being an RTT therapist. But if this is resonating with you at all and you're thinking right now, wow, that session with Marissa earlier was amazing and it's helped me to sort of, figure out things and break cycles, and I'd like to do that with other people, then you can book your call today. And I think Georgia just put the QR code on screen now. So just book your call with our amazing team who will answer any questions that you have. And trust me, I think my biggest regret actually was that I didn't sign up sooner. And the reason I didn't sign up sooner was because I thought if I book a call, it's going to be kind of like pressure and they're going to ask me questions and they're going to try and sell something to me. And that's really not the experience that I had at all, because the lady I spoke to was absolutely amazing and asked me lots of questions about myself, whether I was actually the right fit for doing RTT as well, not just whether it was the right fit for me. And they will answer all of your questions, talk through any concerns that you have. So they really are a lovely, supportive, amazing team. So I wish I'd done that. I mean, I've been a therapist, RTT therapist now for 5 years, but I wish I'd done it sooner because it really is life-changing. And we need so many more RTT therapists out there now. We're in a global health crisis and lots of people struggling with anxiety, depression, and other issues. So if this is resonating with you, book your call now. So I'm just going to invite Marissa back in a second because because she's going to come back and do a quick Q&A. So if you have been asking questions as we've been going along, please bear in mind that we will answer them. Don't worry. Marissa, I'm just going to bring you back in a sec.
Somebody said in the comments that this is not live, it's all pre-recorded, but it's not pre-recorded, it's very much live, which you're going to find out when you answer your questions, because we're live, here to answer your questions.
Yeah, no, we absolutely are live. So let me just see. There's lots of questions in the chat, so I'm just sort of scrolling now. Someone here is saying, how does the program support you in getting clients? So that's through our Inner Belief platform, Marissa, isn't it? So do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we have an Inner Belief platform, and we advertise that so people know, oh, I can go onto that Inner Belief website and I can put in my problem, and I can look for a therapist who might niche. So my problem might be infertility, or my problem might be I want to have a hypnobirth, or it might be that I lack confidence, or I lack self-esteem, or it might be I have an addiction to food or drink or drugs. It might be I have a phobia of needles or bees or wasps, or I'm picking my eyelashes out, or picking my nails. So people will go on to Inner Belief and we match the phobia with the person. So we have people on that website every day looking for a therapist in their area that can deal with their particular issue. And so we're going to match you. You might say, hey, I live in Alabama or London or Leeds or Australia, or you could be in Canada or Paris or Milan. But wherever you are, there are people. Do you have the statistics? I don't remember, Elise, but how many people now are suffering with mental health and looking for help? I was reading them out the other day, just off the top of my head, I've forgotten, but they are massive. How
Massive,
many
yeah.
people are dead? I think it's one in eight, or is it more than that? It must be more than that, but
No,
they're,
it's rising every year. Every time I see the World Health Organization statistics, I'm like blown away. But also not surprised, just considering we're living in such a world of uncertainty
yeah.
at the
So there are
moment,
a lot of people
Marissa.
looking for help, and there are not enough therapists now. It's just the World Health Organization has said there is an absolute lack of therapists who can help people. Lack of therapists, certainly lack of good therapists who can help people really quickly. People don't really want to say, hey, can I go and have therapy every Friday at 4 and just talk about myself? They say, I want help. It's no different to going to ER. If I went to ER and said, hey, I've broken my knee, they wouldn't go, well, let's sit down and get to know each other. And could you come back next week? And I think we're making progress. And maybe in a year, might be able to even fix your knee. People don't want that. They want immediate, they want to be taken out of pain, whether that's the pain of I get irritable bowel or migraine headaches, or the pain of I can't find love, I keep procrastinating at work. So Inner Belief finds people, we find the people that are looking for someone just like you to help them change their entire life and to make it powerful, but also rapid.
Lots of people have asked this question actually, Marissa. Do I need any experience or background in therapy to train in RTT?
No, the training is very thorough. I mean, a lot of the people we've trained police officers, we've trained nurses, we've trained flight attendants, we've trained city workers, we've trained beauty therapists. We do like to have one thing, and that one thing is, do you like people? Have you worked as a receptionist where you're always around people? So if you like people and are interested in what makes them tick, you'd be perfect for this job. But you do not need a background in therapy. You don't need to understand anything about biology. You don't need that, because our training is so thorough and so comprehensive. You won't have it when you show up. You'll have it when you leave. Having said that, we do train a lot of existing therapists too, come along and say, been a therapist for years, but I want your method because it's fast and it seems to be so powerful.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Marissa, someone's asking about your new book, actually. As someone who has read your previous books, what are the new themes you're exploring in your new book, Your Mind, Your Rules?
So I had a book called I'm Enough, and that was all about how to feel enough, how to believe in yourself. Then I had a book called Tell Yourself a Better Lie, and it was really, that was 10 client case histories, and it was telling you in each one, this client did this because of this, and it was allowing you to see how those case histories relate to you. But this one is different again because there's 16 stories, and each story is about, the mind has 16 different rules that I've identified, and each story is a rule of the mind, and how it was ruining this client's life and how we identified them. But at the end of each rule, it shows you how to find your own rules, but also how to very, very much change them. And in there, we have not just the rules you think of. There are a lot of business rules in here. In fact, Vishen Lakhiani, Mona Catton, and Stephen Bartlett all told their story in this book of how I helped them. So it's the rules for love, for help, but also the rules for business, the rules for prosperity. So I'd love you to buy it. It's not expensive. It comes with a QR code. There's some free audios in there to rewire and recode your brain. So please buy my book because it will help you. And if you're interested in learning how you could be a therapist, there's a QR code on the screen. Go ahead and book a call and you can find out, are we for you? Are you for us? Would you like to be one of us? We'd love to have you. Do you have another question for me, Elise?
I do. Somebody is asking, Nick's asking in the chat, will I get therapy to help with my own challenges through the program?
Oh, yes, of course, because when you do this program, it's about 400 hours. And every week you are asked to be both a therapist and the client. So every week you will practice therapy and receive therapy. And it's not play therapy. So when you're turning it, we want you to say, hey, I have a fear of speaking in public. I'm not comfortable in the dark. I bite my nails, whatever your issue is, because you're having real therapy every single week. And you may turn up with some issues, but you'll certainly leave without them. So yes, you get a lot of therapy throughout the course, and I come on and do group therapy quite a lot too.
No, absolutely. I think I found massively beneficial was that there was still a little part of me that was lacking that confidence and belief in myself that I could actually do this. But when I joined and I was speaking with my peers and doing the virtual classroom sessions where you get to practice with your peers and get feedback from the trainers, from Marissa, I just found it massively, massively helpful because I also did the reflective practice register, which means you're practicing on each other's, and it massively helped me in lots of different ways. Because I know a lot of people, Marissa, quite often come onto these webinars and say, well, I've got a whole lot of like issues of my own, or I'm massively anxious, or I don't have the confidence. So how can I do this? But you can, can't you? You don't have to be fixed. We're all a work in progress, but you don't have to have it all together to be able to do this training, do you?
No, and I think if you did have it all together, people don't say, hey, can I find a therapist who's absolutely perfect, having a perfect life? They quite like it if you say, I had depression, or I was infertile, or I just thought my world was over when my partner left me. I had an issue with one of my children being very difficult. They actually like that. They think, oh, you're a real person. You've gone through it. So we're not really attracted to perfect people because how can they relate to us? Empathy is important. And people rather like it when you say, I was told I could never have a child. I was told I could never get pregnant, could never carry a baby. And when I did, I wrote one of my books trying to get pregnant because I really wanted people to understand that it's simply not true. And after I had cancer, I would work with a lot of people who also had cancer because I realized that I could use that experience to help them. So if you had a flaw and you think, I was a bullied kid. I was an unwanted kid. I could help. So many kids are unwanted or feel bullied, or I was downtrodden. I didn't come from anything. I didn't have a degree, and yet here I am. I can help other people. So whatever your issue is, don't think of it as something to be ashamed of. Think of it, wow, I could go out into the world and help people like me. After all, that's what Louise Hay did. That's what Tony Robbins has done. Most great therapists don't say, hey, my life was amazing. They say, I came from chaos and poverty and all kinds of things, but here I am. I mean, I was just reading Emma Greed's book about a single parent, eldest daughter of four, no money, but how she used that to propel herself forwards and is now using her book to help other people. So we should always look at our issues as, okay, I had an issue, I fixed it, I want to do that now for somebody else too. So if your issue is depression and anxiety and you're free of it, and you get free of it during our training, how nice other people can now benefit from you once having that, because you're the proof that life can change dramatically.
Absolutely. So if you are out there now and you are like, yes, I'm ready, I want to transform myself, I want to transform others, please you'll see on my screen and on Marissa's screen as well, a little QR code. You can scan the QR code, get a call booked in with our amazing team. There's no pressure at all. They will ask you all the questions. They will answer all of your questions around the curriculum. They'll take you through absolutely everything. And it's a no pressure call. So please trust me, I've been through the process myself. I know when I was like, I don't want to do this, but it was such an amazing conversation that I had. All my questions got answered, and I instantly knew at the end of that call that that was for me. I didn't need to make a decision right on that call. I went back the next day and I was like, yes, I have to do this because I knew it was my life's purpose. I knew that I wanted to do it. So don't hold back. Don't delay. Don't be a dummy like I was and put it off for a year, because absolutely imagine yourself only from a year's time now. In a year's time, you could be where I am, living a wonderful life that's flexible, fitting around your family commitments, fitting around your life, and actually doing something so powerful by helping other people transform. And yes, just helping people who so need the help right now, because I am seeing so many people that just desperately need the help, and we just don't have enough RTT therapists out there. So book that call now, scan that QR code.
Someone's asking, how long is the training? Because of course you're training in RTT, RTC, and clinical hypnotherapy, but you can actually start working within 6 months. The RTT training is the thing you do first. Within 6 months, you can start seeing clients, and then you can continue with the training for RTC and continue with the training for the clinical. But if you book a call, you can ask someone all these questions: exactly how long, how do I get insurance, which country am I in? It's hard to answer all your questions here, but we can have them all answered. Someone's asked me about my book. So my book is published in America on July the 9th, a hardback. You can actually buy the Kindle version and the audio version right now in America and Australia, in most of Europe, in the UK. It is coming out everywhere. But there's something called Peach now, so you can buy the download book, you can buy the audio book, and then you can put it into Peach and then translate the whole thing into your language, which is quite an amazing thing. So it is being published in many, many other languages. We don't know quite how many yet. I know it's coming out in Dutch, I think, next week, in Flemish. But if it's not in your language, you can buy the audio book, download this thing called Peach, which is free, and they will play it back to you in your language, which was an amazing thing.
A couple of people in the chat have asked, is the call free? Of course, yeah, it's absolutely
Yes,
free, but
totally
yeah,
free.
completely free. Also, a couple of very similar questions as well about RTT and what problems can RTT solve for people?
Well, obviously, they're all the common stuff: addictions, fears, phobias, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, lack of motivation, self-sabotage, procrastination. It's easy to tell you what it can't do. Nail biting, all those things. I mean, easy to say the things it doesn't do. We don't work with psychosis because that's just not okay. We're doing a lot of RTT is finding an old memory and letting go of it. And if you have psychosis, you can't tell what's real or imagined. So we don't work with people with psychosis or extreme mental health issues. We tend not to work with narcissists. But other than that, you can work on it for anything, even pain control. Oh, someone said your new book is fantastic. I'm loving reading a chapter at night. Well, thank you so much, Maria. As a writer, you never quite know, is this coming across? Have I done it well? Could I have made it differently? So whenever your book goes to press, you think, oh, should I have done something else? It's really nice when someone says it's fantastic. I really, really appreciate it. I can't tell you as a writer how much it means when someone says, I like it, it spoke to me. Somebody said to me once, I read your book, I cried all the way through, and I never picked up a drink again. I don't know what you did, but that book, because all my books are written in a hypnotic form, so I could never, I picked it up wanting to stop drinking. By the end, I've never drunk since, so I love that. RTC stands for Rapid Transformational Coaching. So RTT is Rapid Transformational Therapy. RTC is Rapid Transformational Coaching. And you want to have both. Therapy deals with the past and coaching with the future. Someone said all the slots are booked. We are opening more slots as we speak. If all the slots are booked, just come back, because we're opening more slots right now. Someone else said we can't find any available slots. What are we doing about that, Elise? The slots are booked. There are no
I'm just
available
messaging the
slots.
team now, and there's tons of open slots just been added. So please just refresh, keep going, keep refreshing, because there's slots that have just been opened by our team now. So book that call, click on the QR code, because you should be able to find more slots now available. So again, so sorry about that, but don't delay. We've just freed up loads more spaces now for you to get
And
that call
and
booked in.
someone said, do you help chronic conditions? Yes, we have a lot of chronic depression, chronic stress, chronic anxiety, chronic insomnia, anything you can think of, we can pretty much help it. There are some limitations, but not many.
Okay. Somebody's asked in the chat here, what guarantees are there that I will be able to do this?
I'm just going to read some that Deborah just said. As someone, I've done both, upgraded to certified. I highly recommend it. Guarantees. Well, we guarantee that if you go through the program, if you follow it, if you complete the course, we don't talk about failing, but there are some people, very few, who need a little bit longer. So it isn't that we fail people. We say, look, you need longer, and then there's no extra charge for that. But we do guarantee that if you do the course, if you finish the course, complete every module, and join us, we will do everything in our power to make you busy and booked. I think it's the best job in the world. I've been doing it for 40 years, which is kind of 41 actually now. And I love it as much now as on day one. I have no interest in ever retiring. There are very few careers that give you meaning, purpose, connection, significance, growth, contribution. You make a difference. You create impact every day, which is why I probably will never retire. But I guarantee that you can be every bit as good as me and love it every bit as much as I do, because it's such a great career. And not only that, there's very few careers where you can say, I'm going to work from 10 to 2, 4 days a week. I'm going to work from 6 till 9, 3 days a week. I want to work around my children. Women especially, we're not offered many careers that allow us to work around our children, to work from our kitchen table, to see clients all over the world on a screen. But you might say, I don't want to do that. I want to be in a spa or a health club or a clinic. I want to see people face to face, and I like that. But it's one of those rare jobs where you give a lot, you get so much back, and you're your own boss, you have massive flexibility. And we do guarantee that if you follow the program, you'll be good, you'll be busy, you'll be booked, and most of all, you'll love it. And you'll feel like me, that you never worked a day in your life. Because when you do what you love and you love what you do, you really do feel like you've never worked a day in your life. Someone said, can we get the bonuses if we put, I think those bonuses are finished, but I think we could actually allow people who are on this call to get the bonuses. You just have to write in and say, I was on the call and Marissa said I could have the bonuses, even though that's expired, or reactivated for people on the call. Is that okay to do that, Elise?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine if the team behind the scenes can just reactivate that. That would be amazing, but absolutely. And we'll obviously send you the replay by email as well, so you get to watch the session
Someone
again.
said I turned 57, I feel like it's too late for me. You know, being a therapist is one of those rare gifts where the older you are, the wiser you are. Nobody wants to go to a therapist at 21 or even 25. They go, well, how can you help me? I'm 52 and you're 21. It's one of those rare careers, again, for women, especially men too, where your age is seen as wisdom. It's seen as a benefit. It's not very taxing. You don't have to get on the train, to stand up all day and will lift boxes or do anything physical. And I think when you're older, it's a fantastic career because all your life experience comes to play. People don't see you as old, they see you as wise. And that's a good thing. If you look at all the great therapists, Louise Hay and Freud, they were all older and were seen as someone who had innate wisdom because of their age. So don't worry about that. Someone said I was 57 when I started. We've had someone of 72 trained with us, and they said it's the best thing they ever did. In fact, we had a guy from Amsterdam. I always remember him. He was retired. He said, I want to spend my pension on your training. And I said, no, I didn't want to take an older man's pension. And although I turned him down for a place, he managed to get a place somehow, and he turned up. And amazingly, he married someone on the course, and they now live together in Amsterdam. They're joint therapists. They've got a practice. He said, I've never been happier in my entire life. Who would have thought at 70 my life would be the best life? I've got a wonderful wife. We have a business together, and we help people make a difference, and it just feels like everything. So I love that.
If you want to make a difference too, you can always scan the QR code on the screen right now, book that call with our amazing team. They'll answer all your questions, like I mentioned before. And they're such a lovely, friendly, beautiful bunch. So they'll answer all your questions. They'll go through all of the outline curriculum with you, how it works, everything. So yeah, don't delay. Book that call today. But Marissa, what I'd like to ask you, and I mean, I already know the answer to this, obviously. A couple of people have asked, there's so many kind of coaching programs and things out there at the moment. So what makes RTT kind of integrated, unique compared to these other sort of coaching programs
Yeah, I
that are
think
out there
every
right now?
coaching program is the same. You can
Mm.
pick up 50 different coaching programs. They're all identical. They have identical questions, and rather like therapy, they're a little bit dated now, a little bit tired. So our coaching is called therapeutic coaching. A lot of therapists would love to be coaches. A lot of coaches would love to be therapists, but they say, no, I'm a therapist, not a coach. I'm a coach, I can't be a therapist. And many coaches say, I'm really dealing with unfinished business there. In fact, all the coaches I've trained and other people's coaches all say, I take every client through this, the rules of your mind, on the first session. And it's a game changer because it gives clients such insight into how they can change. So our coaching therapy is different. I wrote it. You see, most coaches have this kind of template, and every coach is every coaching program is the same, but ours is not. Ours is based on 40 years of what clients need. It's very much based on their blocks. And therapeutic coaching is very different to standard coaching because coaches can only get so far. I'm coaching you to be a public speaker. I'm coaching you, but you've got this fear inside of speaking in public, which you can't get past. I'm coaching you to find love. I'm coaching you to go on a date, to say the right thing. But you have this inner fear being rejected, which no amount of coaching can get over, because here's a rule of the mind. It's in my book. Emotion will defeat logic every single time. Every time. If there's a battle between emotion and logic, logic loses, emotion wins. Therefore, you need to do what I call emotional coaching. You need to find the emotion and defeat the logic. You can't defeat logic. Sorry, you can't defeat emotion with logic, but you can defeat logic with emotion. So we understand that very well. We do it.
I just want to read a couple of comments out, Marissa, because lots of people saying they've already got your book. That was so great. Lots of nice feedback on the session. That was so great. Thank you. This is from Shelley. I've had amazing success with several of your audios. Stop drinking, confidence, all have been successful. Great to have this live event and call today. Thank you. Fernando was saying that session was amazing. I was able to clear many blocks, including a massive brick of block against money, wealth, abundance, and prosperity. So lots of really lovely feedback from the session.
And John is saying, I'm 62 and I studied with Marissa to become a therapist 3 years ago. It's definitely life-changing. I love that, John. And I think that's wonderful. So you're 65 now and living your best life. And good for you. I remember you very well. And I'm thrilled that this is working for you.
Okay. A question about the therapy itself, Marissa. If people have traumatic memories, how can we make sure that they're not reliving it or getting more distressed?
Well, you know, I just did a call. I just did something with Gabor Martin. In fact, I'm flying to Paris in 2 weeks to record a series of Gabor Martin and Bessel van der Kolk on trauma, because the belief is trauma is in the body, and now it's repeating and repeating, but it doesn't have to be. The trauma is in the body, it's stored in the body, but you can use RTT to release trauma. So no matter how traumatic something is, you can let it go. You know, when I got run over, for instance, I was sitting, I noticed for a while, when my husband was driving, I didn't like to look at the wheels of a lorry going past because I went under quite a big car. And then eventually I just forgot about it. Now I can purposely look at what's going to look at those wheels. You're safe. In fact, weirdly, when I got run over, the guy tried to drive away. And I was saying to my doctor, you know, that's such a terrible thing. He says, the best thing that ever happened to you. Thank God he drove away. If he stopped with those wheels on your leg, you could have lost your leg. So that was quite a reframe. It was a wonderful thing. And so trauma, a lot of it is changing it. You know, one of my clients told me this interesting story, and you have to be careful how I word this, but she said, you know, I was raped and it wasn't very nice. She goes, but I could deal with a penis. I couldn't deal with a gun or a knife. And when it happened, I thought, you know, I'm just going to detach myself and I will not allow this person to ruin my life. And weirdly enough, she ended up marrying the police officer that investigated her and prosecuted the guy that raped her. She said, you know, it was something so bad. Something, he was my protector, he was my savior. And I thought that was rather a wonderful story, that from something terrible, something wonderful happened, because we can't change what happens. We can only change how we feel about it, the meaning we make of it, and what we do about it. And some people, if you look at Tony Robbins, who had 5 fathers, Wayne Dyer brought up in a children's home, Louise Hay, unloved by her parents and gave up her only child. Oprah Winfrey raped and had a daughter at 14. Some of these people we see have had, I mean, Lewis Howes molested when he was on the football team, have had terrible, terrible times. And yet, rather than say it was awful, they say, I'm going to use this to grow, to make my life amazing, and then I'm going to use it to make your life amazing too. And a lot of people you meet will say, I wouldn't change any of it because, you know, it taught me something. It taught me resilience. It taught me how to help people. people who've had a wonderful life don't really have that drive to make a difference because they don't know what it's like to feel unimportant, unloved, uncared for. So if you look at someone like Maria Montessori or even Bernardo's, it was the understanding of children's pain that made them do good work. And if you haven't been through it, you're probably less likely to really relate to it. I hope that
Absolutely.
makes sense.
And I think that that was what I like to describe as your superpower as a therapist, isn't it? Your struggles are actually your
Yeah,
superpower because it means other people can relate to you because you understand what they're going through and what you've gone through. That's why I work with people with chronic health conditions, with anxiety, because I've been in that bad place before, but now I'm over here in a completely different space. And so they see that in me and they go, well, I'm where you were, so how do I get where you are now? And I take them
yeah.
on that journey. And it's such a privilege to work with people and to be able to help people in this way. And that's why I love RTT, because I did lots of different therapies for anxiety before I actually got to RTT. I did cognitive behavioral therapy, I did neurolinguistic programming, I did all sorts. I did all the self-help you could possibly find for anxiety. And what I found was that I always describe it as kind of like it's like a sticking plaster approach. So
Mm.
I'd find these little emotional crutches which would work for a while, but eventually they'd start to wear off and I'd start to feel anxious or I'd start to feel like low again or depressed or, and I'd eventually be like, right, well, I need to find the next thing that's going to fix me, the next thing that's going to fix me. And I found myself in this like looping cycle of just trying to find things to help, but nothing was permanently helping me until I did RTT. And what I know now is because all of those things that I was trying, they just address the surface symptoms. They make you feel better for a little while. But because they're not addressing the root cause, you're never really getting to that root cause of the problem. And that really is the key to unlocking that, uprooting that, rewiring, recoding your mind, and freeing yourself from something. So having that understanding is the power to set yourself free and break that
Yeah, I'm a
cycle.
great believer that you can't heal what you don't feel and you can't fix what you don't understand. Understanding is power. In fact, understanding is a superpower when you can say, oh, I know why I'm always late. I know why I self-sabotage. I know why I procrastinate. That doesn't always stop it, but when you add that to RTT, it absolutely does.
Absolutely. So we've still got the QR codes on screen. So don't delay, book your call now. We've got lots of free slots. I can see that the sales team have just freed up lots of slots there. So book that call. You're not going to regret it. Trust me. Like I said earlier, I wish I'd done it so much sooner because, yeah, it's just so amazing. I've been 5 years as an RTT therapist now, and every day is just the best day ever. And like Marissa says, it doesn't feel like work when you're doing something that you absolutely love doing and transforming people's lives and helping people and using this in kind of in everyday life as well, because I've used RTT with my son who was really struggling at one point with OCD, and I used RTT to help him to rewire and retrain his mind. I actually he was like little at the time and he said, Mummy, like I know what you do and you help people. So how can you help me to stop doing things? And he was doing repetitive things at school which were worrying the teachers with because it was just delaying his learning. And so we sat down and we sort of spoke about his brain and how his mind and how he can talk to his mind. And actually he's in charge of his mind, not the other way around. And he said, oh, a bit like Alexa, when you tell Alexa what to do, she does it. I said, exactly that. And so he said, right, so I've got an Alexa mind. So if I say to my Alexa mind, I don't need to keep moving my water bottle in and out of the tray, it'll stop doing it. I said, yeah, you try that when you go to school tomorrow. And his teachers kind of spoke to me about 3 weeks later and said, the transformation in Charlie is absolutely amazing. Like, what have you done? I said, well, I've just taught him to use his Alexa mind because now he's in control of his own mind and he tells it what to do, not the other way around. And yeah, he's just absolutely thriving. And it's amazing that you can use these techniques with your friends, with your family. I think somebody had asked that question actually, Marissa, like when you first graduate, can we work with friends and family? And you can, can't you?
You can. There's reasons not to. Like they're going to laugh and think it's a bit of a hoot. But if you can say to them, look, I can absolutely help you more so because you're my sister. But there's just an understanding. This is therapy. I'm the therapist. You're my client. We're not sisters right now. We're going to go through the session. I'll always be your sister, but in the session, I'm your therapist. You're my client. I'm going to give you my time and my respect, as long as you can have those boundaries. I mean, I've worked with my daughter, lots of family members. I hypnotized my stepbrother who couldn't sign his name, couldn't write any documents because as a kid, he was left-handed, and he was punished for that. And then he was told his handwriting was disgusting. And after that, he said, I can't, my handwriting is disgusting. I don't even care. And it was really nice. I've worked with many, many family members, and it's a wonderful thing. But there's also reasons not to. I don't want to work with my sister. We both went through an abusive time, or the last person I want to help is my own partner. So you don't have to, but if you want to, it's actually a very good thing, and it's super effective.
Amazing. I just want to give a big shout out to Tina, who is in New Zealand, and it's 1:30 a.m. in the morning, and she's still listening to us.
Oh,
Bless her.
well
So
done,
thank you.
Tina.
Thank
You're
you for
definitely
joining
one
us.
of us.
And if you have booked your call, we'd love to give you a shout out as well. So if you've booked your call already, just pop it into the comments, and myself and Marissa will give you a lovely shout out to say thank you and to say yay. We're so glad that you're going to be joining our team. So yeah, pop your name in the chat if you've booked your call. Someone's asking, what can RTT therapists charge? What did you charge and what do you charge now?
Well, most of our therapists start at around about $250 for a session. We teach you how to sell packages, which is a very good thing. But you might have a one-off session for some nail biting or passing your driving test. So I started off charging, I think when I started, I charged £30. In fact, it was 32, but it was £30 and £2 for the audio cassette. Now I charge a lot more than that. I don't really see many clients because I'm training therapist, I'm writing books, I'm speaking all over the world. So I see very few clients. I don't need to because I can refer people to a therapist who I know is every bit as probably better than me because they've got this enthusiasm, the passion. I still have it after 40 years. So start at $250, but some of our therapists charge $1,000. It depends. If you lived in rural Ireland, you charge a different fee to if you lived in Manhattan. But what I'd suggest is find out what the best therapist in your area charges and match that because you're worth it, probably more. But it's a very good career where you can really make a nice living, and I like that. You don't want to be struggling for clients, and or you want to hold your head up high and say, I feel equal to everyone I work with, and that's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. And
Someone said I did hypnotherapy with my daughter who had panic attacks speaking in front of the class. That's 3 years ago. And since then, she's had not a single problem speaking in front of the class. So well done. I love that. Thank you.
big shout out to Alyssa, Denise, Marina, Sarah, Rain, what beautiful name, Loretto, all booked their calls, Marissa.
Well done. Sorry, it's very late here in Dubai. I'm going to have to get off the call in a minute, but I think you're going to stay and answer some more questions. We're going to leave the chat open for a while
Yeah.
for people to book more calls. So I'm just going to ask you one thing. Please buy this book, not for me, but for you. It can change your whole life. I mean, I used it when I got run over. I walked in 6 weeks. I just did a talk about I had two different cancers, and I took this book to the hospital and gave it to the nurses that helped me, and I helped them. And I also have a brand new podcast called Your Mind, Your Rules. In fact, last week I interviewed Davina McCall, who was pretty much abandoned at 4 by her mother, became a terrible drug addict, and then became one of the most successful TV presenters of all time. So really do go ahead and watch that one. And this week I was interviewing Mona Catton, who had $6,000 and started Huda Beauty and Kayali with nothing at all. So I'd love you to watch my new podcast, Your Mind, Your Rules. I'd love you to buy my book, Your Mind, Your Rules. And please don't leave before you've booked your call. It's free. It's not obligation. Just make sure you book your call. So make sure you book your call, and we would love to help you doing the best job in the world.
Marissa, one last thing before you
Yes.
leave. There's been a few comments asking about London Live. So that's happening in the first week of June, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, we have a few places left. You would have to do 3 modules. So, but that's okay. They're not hard. If you want to go to London Live, we have some places. It's in this fantastic place in Chelsea. For the first time ever, we're providing lunch. That's on us. It's the most beautiful hotel on the River Thames in the heart of Chelsea. It's really fun. You can take an Uber boat down the Thames. So if you want to come to Chelsea, I'm only doing one training this year, partly because I've got my book. I got my book tour. My daughter's having another baby in July, and I've committed to spending the summer with her and my little grandson who I worship. So This year, I really had to say, okay, I can't go to Amsterdam and New York. I'll never get that chance again to be with my grandson while she has another baby. So this year, there's only one live training in Chelsea. I'm not sure what's going to happen next year again because I got the book, I got the podcast, I got the book tour. I'm filming a Netflix series in America right at the end of the year, which is very exciting. So if you want to do a live training, you only have one chance, and that's in Chelsea, but it's going to be really cool. So we'd love you to come. If you want to book onto that, again, book a call and they'll explain how you can get one of the last few places on that training from the 1st to the 5th of June. But please stay on the call until the end so you can get a link to book your call. Remember that there's no charge, there's no obligation. We don't ask you for your credit card. And even if we did, you have a full 14-day money back guarantee. We are legally obliged to give you your money back after 14 days within it. But we would anyway. If you hear me here saying, we don't on the call ask you to pay, but if you did decide, hey, I want to sign up right now, you have 14 days to withdraw from that, no questions asked, including the course. You can withdraw from it. You're not held to anything. We don't want to do that selling where, oh, you signed on the dotted line, that's it. We're very good about saying, look, if you can't come, you can't come. That's fine. But we would love to see you in Chelsea. There's nothing like doing it live. It's amazing because you're supervised. It's such fun, and you're with me every day.
Thanks so much, Marissa. I know you've got to shoot off soon, but a couple more questions just before you go. I know it's super late for you. Can I
It
train
is
while
really
working another
yawning.
job?
Been a long day. Sorry. And it's very hot here too, so I'm yawning because it's no. I've turned that off, darling. It's too noisy. I don't need it anymore. Okay. What were the next questions?
One final question then before you go, and I'm obviously going to stay on for another 5, 10 minutes afterwards as well, because there's so many questions in the chat. So I just want to make sure that we're getting around to everyone else who's asked questions and they've stuck around with us. Sorry, we are massively over time. We always do go over time, but it's because we're really passionate about what we do. We want to give you value and support you, and we want you to train in RTT. So we want to answer as many questions as we possibly can. Marissa, can I train while working another job?
Oh, absolutely. We have many police officers, flight attendants. You're really looking at about 8 hours a week, which is not hard. I mean, you might say, gosh, it's hard for me. I've got a full-time job and 3 kids. But a lot of people train while they're in their career. And then what they tend to do is go part-time in that career and part-time and gradually work themselves out of one career into another. When they're making an income, they know the income is meeting with their requirements. So you can do your full-time career and train in RTT. You can do a part-time career, part-time, and then you can gradually move over to full-time RTT.
Amazing. And any final words from you, Marissa?
Well, I think it's the best job in the world. There's nothing quite waking up and knowing you made a difference. In my old office, I used to have behind me a wall full of all the pictures of the babies that came into the world because for a while I was niching in infertility. And we do help you niche, by the way. But for a while I niched in infertility, having been told I suffered from that. And it was a nice thing to walk in and think, well, look at all these babies. Some of them wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. Obviously I didn't create them. I helped the parents conceive. I help women with unexplained infertility, secondary infertility, diagnosed male infertility, you name it. And it was the most lovely thing if I ever had a bad day to think, wow, look at all these cards and all these photos and all these babies. A lot of them got called Marissa, by the way. And it was just the nicest thing. And I still to this day get letters. But now what happens? I used to wake up to letters and emails from my clients saying, gosh, just wanted to tell you I slept through the night. I don't have headaches. I don't know when I last shouted at my kids. But now I get letters from my therapist saying, look at the letter I got. One of my clients said, I got a bunch of flowers bigger than my head. They're huge. And they would send, so now I get letters and copies of emails and cards from the people I've trained showing me the letters they've got. And there's nothing quite like it. It's a wonderful feeling.
So book that call. QR code's on screen now. Join
And
our wonderful RTT family.
there is one other thing that I forgot, that a lot of the people I've trained have written books. They have their own podcast. They have their own column in the newspaper. They have their own stuff going on. And so I like that. For every therapist who says, you know, this is a vocation, I'm working in a rural area with bullied kids, and it's the best thing in the world. I'm working in the city with burnt out executives, and it's the best job in the world. And that's enough for me. And I love that because it should be enough. Being a therapist is a vocation. But you can take it as far as you want. You can also write books, appear on podcasts. For one of our clients, Andrea, the BBC did a whole show on her and a great success with infertility. We had a girl called Monica, CNN did a whole show on her work with stressed out executives. So you can really take it far. You can write, you can speak, you can lecture, you can go into the corporate world, you can have your own column, you can have your own podcast. You can take it as far as you want. You can also say, this is a vocation, and working with people in my community is everything to me. And that's great too. You have a lot of choices how far you take this and what you do with it.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Lots of people asking about the London Live event. So if you scan the QR code, you can speak to the team and the team will give you all the details of the London Live and you can sign up for the London Live via that link. So yeah, just scan the QR code and they will
Yeah.
talk you through everything. I see just to
Come to
say to the team,
Chelsea. It's going to be
yeah,
such fun. You will love it. Be a Chelsea girl or a Chelsea boy for a week. It's great fun. Sorry? Yeah, you're going to be with me. We're going to be in Chelsea having the best time. And Chelsea Harbour Hotel is so gorgeous. And it's on the River Thames, and there's Uber boats going up and down. There's fabulous restaurants, going to be beautiful weather. So if you want to have a really great experience, part holiday, part training, come to Chelsea, hang out with us.
amazing. So a few people have asked about how long is the program and how it's structured. So it takes around 21 months and it's sort of structured in three phases. So the first phase is where we teach you to be an RTT practitioner, and that generally takes around 6 to 9 months. Then phase two is the RTC, that's the coaching certification, which takes around 4 to 5. And then phase three is your practitioner upgrade and clinical hypnotherapy. So that's around 7 months. But everybody kind of learns at a different pace. I did the training over the space of, I think I did it in about, I just did RTT initially, and I took about 10 months to do that. And that was with me probably doing about 10 hours a week. Because I was like kind of juggling that around my making sure that I was looking after myself, making sure I was looking after my son, and it was actually lockdown as well. So just sort of like juggling just general day-to-day things. But you know, as long as you've got that time to dedicate it to it, I know Marissa mentioned before, you can still be working full time and do this as long as you've got, you know, some time to dedicate to your learning. But it's self-paced as well, so we don't rush you through the program. You can pace it yourself with the time that you've got.
Somebody asked me what the bonuses are with the book. So if you buy this book, although the bonuses have closed, we're going to reopen them for anyone on this call. You get a free bonus chapter, you get a free bonus audio that I recorded just for you, and you get a free live Q&A with me. I think there's also a competition where you can win a free session with me, which is not really very available. So you get 4 things: extra chapter, bonus audio, Q&A, chance to win a session with me. So it's definitely worth it. And it has some really cool audios in there too, but this is another audio in addition to the ones already in the book. So buy it. Sometimes a great book can change your life. It will certainly talk to you and it'll make sense of everything. Instead of you working for your brain, it'll start to work for you. And that's when you really win at everything. When your brain works for you and you don't work for it, then you're winning at everything. So I'm going to have to go. Elise is staying.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
stay
you
for
so
the
much for
next five
everything.
minutes.
And
Thanks
where
so
do you
much,
buy
Marissa.
it? But you can buy it on amazon.co.uk, amazon.com, Amazon Europe. I think you can buy it pretty much anywhere. In America, you can only buy right now the audio and the Kindle, but you can buy the hardback on July the 9th. But don't wait until then. Just get the Kindle version or the audio. But you can get it pretty much everywhere. If you have a problem, write to us, marissa@marissapeer.com, and we'll find it. It's in bookshops too. So it's in bookshops all over the world, on Amazon, in airports. And we're very excited about it. And I want to make it a bestseller. So if you bought it, you would really make my day, my week, my month, maybe even my year. So thank you. And Stephen Bartlett, by the way, from Dragonstone, from Diary of a Seer, is actually my publisher. So he created his own publishing division of Penguin. So it's Penguin, Stephen Bartlett, me. And I think someone just put up a link to the book. So thank you so much for that. So how do they get the extra chat? By the way, Elise, what do? They buy the book. We're giving them the bonuses. They have to write in, don't they?
I
Could you
think
just
what we'll ask the
explain?
team to do is just include the details on the email with the replay, Marissa, I think. Is that
Okay.
if someone can just take a note behind the scenes of that to make sure that we put the link onto that email with the replay, then it makes sure that everybody gets it that's come today
Okay.
and
And
joined
if
us
you
the
have a
last two
problem
hours.
finding it, let us know and we'll tell you how to get it.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you. Elise is going to stay. We're going to stay open for a while so you can book a call. Thank you. Love you. Love you. Hope you become one of us. We love to say one less of them, one more of us. Every time you train with us, every time we train doctors, we always say one less of them. I love doctors, but I love the fact that doctors want to train with us because they understand that up to 80% of people turning up at the doctors or indeed the hospital have real physical problems caused by not diseased organ, diseased thinking. And we are the experts, I'm including you in that, in fixing diseased thinking. You know, diseased organ is a bit of a thing. You're going to have antibiotics to transfer. Diseased thoughts can be changed like that. And you can do that as magically as me. And I really hope you do. Love you. Thanks for tuning in. Keep in touch. See you next time. Buy my book. Make my day. Thank you. Thank you. Love you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Marissa.
And
Thank you.
remember, you can have it all the time if you know how. It's all in here. Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you there to the wonderful Marissa, who, as usual, just delivers an amazing session for us all. And thank you to everybody that's stuck around afterwards as well to listen to us. As you can tell, we at Team Marissa are so super passionate about what we do, working with RTT, telling the world about it, working with clients, because it really is the most amazing job in the whole wide world. There's a few people who've asked actually about charging and what do I charge personally. I know Marissa kind of touched on that earlier. So when I first started out, I think I was probably charging around 150 to £200 a session. Whereas now for an individual session, I charge £350 per session. But I tend to actually work with clients not on a one-off basis. I work with clients on a package. So I've got 16-week programs, 6-month programs, because ultimately when somebody comes to me and they want to do one RTT session, we start to peel layers of an onion and they go, oh, wow, that's completely changed everything. And now I want to do a session on this. So I've done a session on confidence. Now I feel confident, but I've got money blocks. I want to do a session on money blocks. So it really is like amazing. So generally now I just sell kind of package programs and we support you and show you how to do that as well. So I'm just flicking through some more of the comments. There's been so many questions. Thank you so much to everybody who's stuck with us. I know that we always inevitably go way over time on these webinars, but it really is because we just want to make sure that we answer everybody's questions as we are going along. Is there an age limit to doing the program? No, there's no age limit. Marissa touched on this earlier. I think we had somebody who was 72. We might have even had someone that was 81. I think somebody was in their 80s that had applied to do it as well. So no, there's no age limit. And as Marissa mentioned earlier, I think it really is your superpower as a therapist is your life experience, the struggles, the things that you've overcome, because it's what makes you relatable to other people. So there were a few questions earlier when I was talking actually about chronic health conditions and can RTT help? So maybe I think it was from Deborah who'd maybe missed what I was saying. But yes, the reason that I'm here today actually is that I have Marissa to thank for me being here and being healthy and being happy and doing an absolutely amazing career that I absolutely love and jump out of bed every day to do because I used it in my recovery from multiple sclerosis. If you'd seen me 10 years ago, it was a very different picture. I was really struggling with lots of issues to do with MS, including chronic fatigue, really terrible brain fog. There's no way that I could have seen myself 10 years ago sitting here with a live audience of thousands of people speaking to you and being able to string a sentence together because I was really struggling with slurring my speech, brain fog. It was really hard. Chronic fatigue, like I mentioned, I had lots of sensory symptoms. And I did 3 RTT sessions over the space, I think it was just under a year actually. And in that space of time, I just found lots of different things just gradually getting better. Now I actually, a lot of people say, well, have you got MS anymore? And I say, well, it's on my diagnosis, it's on a sheet at the doctor's. It says that that's what I have. But I sat in front of my neurologist a few months ago for my annual review, and he said, you're sitting here and I'm asking all the questions and you're looking a bit like narked that I'm asking you, do you have issues with continence? Do you have issues with this? Do you have issues with brain fog? And you're sitting there going, no, 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 like a petulant child. And he said, but what I can't understand is here's your last brain scan of your brain and your spine. And he's like, lesion 1, lesion 2, lesion 3, 4, 5, lesion 6 and 7 on your spinal cord. How are you so well? And I said, because I chose to be well. And it really was, RTT just unlocked so much for me, all that sort of trauma that, I thought I haven't got trauma. I didn't have a terrible life or anything. Okay, I had a horrible stepfather who was really unsupportive, but I didn't have a terrible life. I didn't feel like, trauma had caused this, but actually, when you do RTT sessions and it gets to the root cause, it can be something that consciously you might think wasn't significant, but actually has just had a massive impact on your subconscious mind, has informed your choices, who you are as an adult, and has continued to run your life. All these little subconscious rules that Marissa mentioned earlier are continuing to run or ruin, as they were with me, ruin your life. So it really is. That's the beauty of RTT because it gets to the root cause of that problem. And I've said it a couple of times, but I'll say it again. Understanding is power because understanding why these things are holding you back and reframing that and then rewiring your mind really is the key to unlocking your full potential. So yeah, unlocking those, success blocks, everything. And lots of when I did RTT as well, I noticed like a domino effect in lots of areas of my life as well. Relationships improved. Like I say, I left a horrible, toxic, narcissistic marriage because I started to feel my own sense of worth and confidence. So I'm just flicking through the comments. I'm going to stay around for another 2 minutes. Lots of people asking about London Live. Be quick, book your call. Scan the QR code on screen because, like I say, the spaces are pretty limited now. It's the dates, 1st to the 5th of June, I believe it is, unless someone's going to correct me. No, 1st to 5th of June. Yeah. So yeah, don't worry about someone said, oh, I don't, yeah, I'm a bit worried about booking a call. Please don't worry about booking a call. I was there, I've been there. And trust me, the team behind the scenes are just such a lovely, lovely bunch. And they will help you, they'll answer all your questions, they'll tell you all about payment plans, etc. Okay, so I'm gonna have 1 more minute. Sorry, I'm just scrolling to see whether there's anything that I've missed. I can't scan the QR code because I'm on my phone. Maybe we could pop a link into the comments as well then, just in case you're also on your phone. Lots of people saying they've read Marissa's book. I think we've covered that before. What can RTT do? What does RTT stand for? Sorry, Rapid Transformational Therapy. I think I've actually covered everything. So if there's not anything else, in a second I will go. I'm just waiting for the last day. Mind you, I say that and then 13 comments come up. I'm reading the book, Book Your Call. Thank you, Elise and Marissa. I missed the webinar. Is it possible to watch again? Yes, you will get a replay for this. So you will get an email out with the replay and with the link for the bonuses that Marissa mentioned earlier. Anything else? Lots of lovely thank yous. Lots of love you, Marissa. Yeah, I'm so grateful to Marissa because she completely, watching that one YouTube video just completely changed my life. It was, I am like a bit spiritually woo-woo because I do believe that the universe sends you in lots of strange directions, even if you don't understand it at the time. But without MS appearing in my life, I wouldn't be here today. I would never have found Marissa. I would not be doing the best job in the world because I'd probably still be trapped in that awful corporate career, trying to prove myself to everybody around me and actually hating myself and being a ball of anxiety with it. What's the name of Marissa's book again? Your Mind, Your Rules. I think there's a link in the comments, but you can buy it on Amazon. Yeah, lots of people asking about London Live. Right, I think I've answered all the questions. So if you are thinking about doing London Live, be quick, book your call now, scan that QR code on the screen, and you can speak to our amazing team. They'll tell you all the details. 1st to the 5th of June it is, so pretty soon actually. So yeah, book your call now if you want to get on that course because I think there's only like a few seats left. And we are coming up to 5 past 5. So I think I'm probably going to hop off now. So thank you so much to everybody who's joined us today. I know this webinar has been a mammoth webinar, but like I say, it's because Marissa just always does such an amazing experience that sometimes we do run over. And then obviously we just want to read out everybody's questions and comments and make sure that we're talking to you because we are live. And every time we do one of these webinars, we are live online doing them for you. So thank you so much to everybody that stick with us. Last call for the scan the QR code, book your call. We'd love to have you on board. Come and join our amazing RTT family. I promise you, you won't regret it. My biggest regret is not doing it sooner. I've never looked back since I've trained. I'm well, I'm happy, I'm doing the best job in the whole wide world. So book your call now. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing evening or morning, wherever you be in the world, because I know we've had a global audience today. And thank you so much for joining us. Scan that QR code, get that call booked in, and see you very soon. Take care, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.